Wait, please welcome Anisa Subashi from Albania. And I would like to ask her to have her presentation in English. Unfortunately, we cannot provide Albanian interpretation.
It's okay, yes. Hello to everyone. I will speak English because, no one will speak Albanian here. I can also speak in Italian if you wish, but for me it's better in English, so. Yes, it's true. We have recently have had a good football team player. Thanks, we have won some games. Let's hope that we will go on in that way, but in any case. So, Albania, it's not yet in European Union, a country that is a member. It's more than 10 years, let's say, or it's so many years that Albania is at the process of opening the negotiations to be a candidate country. But every year, the criteria of opening are adding, and changing. So we don't know when it will be opened to be a candidate country, and after that we have a process that would last a long time for being a member state. So till now we are in this position. Last time from the EU, the reason was that the Bulgaria was against the accession of the North Macedonia because of the national problems that has to do with the use of the national language. So if we want to enter this time, the criteria has changed. We will not enter like a country, but they want that the Western Balkans will enter in a bloc. So if Albania will not accept it, then even North Macedonia not. If there will be a problem with North Macedonia, then Albania will not accept it. This is another criteria that is going on in the discussions of the EU that we think it's not good. It's a good thing that EU citizens will express their views on the functioning and organizational development of the EU. These initiatives wants to give more life to the democratic idea of the new Europe. The political, economical, social, demographic, and pandemic developments of the last year are necessitating a new European born. It is positive and promising for the future of Europe that the Brussels politicians have already recognized the need of a necessity of a Europe for new ideas and reforms. Getting civic opinion and civic and civil activism is even the case of this conference, which is an exercise of direct democracy on a large scale that has not happened in the past. Economic well-being, military sovereignty, and the guarantee of a common market were the factors that kept Europe united even in the time were the factors that kept Europe united even in the times of crisis. The 66-year survival has been accompanied by new and unpredictable phenomena in its beginnings, such as high unemployment, financial crisis, immigration, political unrest, membership expansions, Brexit, etc. The solution to these phenomena needs more competence in functioning, but also need rules and forms of cooperation and involvement. We think that the question now is Europe ready to accept change? Are Brussels politicians willing to accept civic proposals which call for the amendment of many EU agreements and rules? The change of these rules and agreements would be necessary and would make it possible to change the procedures for the description and of posts and decision-making within the EU. The EU must carry out a deeply reflective process on the common future, clearly moving toward a comprehensive reaffirmation of its policies and strategies. It is positive and promising that the European citizens themselves are synchronized with the change of spirit and the new political vision on the European future, guaranteeing a deepening of European integrity, which is also seen and served by this conference. We think that a reborn Europe is the most approximate and undefined term of the Union, and potential member states. This term preserves and further develops the European dimension of democracy as one, electoral dimension, which includes competition, vertical accountability, rational discussion, and security, and a willingness to react. Liberal dimension, which includes the rule of law, horizontal accountability, minority rights, freedom of expression, and freedom of the press. Social dimension, through social justice that guarantees protection from poverty and reduction of unequal income distributions. Dimension of direct democracy, which guarantees the direct participation of citizens. Dimension of inclusion, the right to inclusion and participation, including immigrants. Type of representative dimension related to the typology of majority or promotional representation. Preserving and further cultivating these dimensions of democracy through a full reflection on them will enable a complete renewal of the attitudes and decisions of the EU for the whole continent itself, or of Europe itself with the rest of the world. Regarding the Western Balkans, I think that the EU should clarify and change its position. This change is probably accelerated even through a reborn Europe, with reformulated rules and decisions. The integration of the Western Balkans in the EU enables the EU and its member states to maintain the credibility of their strategic goals for the Western Balkans. The EU must therefore develop a new perception of the Western Balkan region by acknowledging the EU necessity to achieve its goal in the Western Balkans through its almost de facto integration due to common interest in economics, security, and human communication. We believe that Western Balkans remains a touchstone for the success and sustainability of the European model, the one of the democracy, freedom, and the rule of law in security and prosperity. Reborn Europe will pacify, stabilize, and democratize the Western Balkans in a realistic and lasting way. The current stalemate created in the accession process of the Western Balkans, especially for the case of Albania, with complex bureaucratic and administrative procedures, is favoring the penetration of influences and rising powers in the Western Balkans. So, Russia opposes EU and NATO enlargement. China and Turkey offer models of society based on democratic principles. So a democratically born Europe must remain a major player in the Western Balkans, both in terms of the model offered and in terms of political and economic support. An economically reborn and politically reshaped Europe, while continuing to maintain its human and social dimension, will have to completely change its approach to the Western Balkans. The implementation of the economic and investment plan, already approved by the European Union, is a concrete way of approaching and integrating this region into the EU. Through this integration, the EU must achieve twofold goals: guaranteeing peace and prosperity in the Western Balkans. Our European approach is an obligation and commitment of the new reborn Europe, not to remain a dream, but to be realized as a great expression of the majority of the citizens of the Western Balkans. We Albanians have a common past with the EU, and we will definitely have a future that unites us. At the last, as Confederation of Trade Unions of Albania, representing the workers in Albania, but not only, we agree in the points that Mr. Imre Palkovic said, which are very important to underline and work, which are climate change, healthcare, social justice, and especially now a great call is for new social contract. Albania is in Europe, is Europe. And now we think it has to be also in the EU. Thank you.